This is the Backlog Exposed podcast, bringing you weekly discussions on gaming, as well as quick insights into sports, entertainment, and anything else that we can think of. To get in touch with us, ask questions, or just hang out and chat, join us in the Backlog Exposed Discord. Follow us on Twitter at @TheBacklogPod, or send us an email at thebacklogexposed@gmail.com. You can find all of our social media information, as well as many different ways to listen to our podcast by visiting our website, thebacklogexposed.com.
I'm Joe.
I'm Kevin.
And we are
The Backlog
Exposed.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Backlog Exposed. Today is October 8th, 2018. You're listening to episode 19, and we are getting busy with a little bit of something. Joe, my man, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, dude? Feels like I've been gone for 10 months on these episodes, man. It's been a long couple of busy weeks at work, and still able to get some video game playing in and ready to share some more information for our viewers, man. What you up to?
I've been pretty busy myself, man. This weekend I had to put a Cub Scout camporee together, and so I took the kids, ended up doing two nights, 3 days over at the campground, and it was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work because I'm a pack leader over here in Jacksonville.
Oh yeah, dude, I've been in those situations. I had a couple of different things with the Boy Scouts. It's some tough work, man.
Yeah, it is. I love it though. It's real work. You know, it's getting these kids prepared. So what we did was we secured a site. You know, one of those campground sites at the Cub Scouts that they own a whole bunch of campgrounds across the country. So we have one about 7-8 minutes away from our house. It's perfect. Beautiful little campsite. I got the trailer, set everything up. Kids started pouring in, and we just set up a whole bunch of activities, set up the fire, obviously, helped everybody set up their tents, went down, got some kids fishing time. Kids had never fished before. Caught these big old crickets, man. These crickets the size of probably about 4 inches long. These huge crickets.
Good God.
Yeah, man, it was just a lot of fun, and the kids had a blast. My two did great, just enjoying the time with everybody else. And but I was tired as hell. I came back on Sunday, and holy cow, we were gonna do this podcast. I just didn't have the energy to do it yesterday. So, it was one of those things. You know, you don't get too much sleep when you have a train running by every 15 minutes when you're sleeping in a campsite. So that's pretty much what I've been going on, what I've been doing. Also playing some video games we'll get into here in a little bit. But what about you? How's the house coming along?
Yeah, man, we signed all the paperwork a couple days ago. Did our last little bit of preparation for it. Sent some more emails today. All I'm waiting on now is the VA appraiser to come through. And then Thursday, the inspector's coming through. I believe after those two guys do what they need to do, we should be in the house in about 2 more weeks, hopefully. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
That's what I have to say about that.
Dude, that was sick.
I got some surprises for you.
Kind of caught me off guard, bro.
I figured.
Kind of caught me off guard. That was awesome.
I've been working on my soundboard.
That's funny. But yeah, other than that, man, been playing some games with the kids. We had a huge game drop on Friday. Super Mario Party dropped for the Switch. Did you end up picking it up? Oh yeah, I did. I came home after work and bought it, man. It's amazing.
Oh shit.
It's different than the rest of I'm sure you've played the Mario parties in the past.
Oh yeah. Played the hell out of Mario Party.
This is a little different. I like it. I like what they did. There's a lot more like maps. The way it's laid out, it's a whole lot different. You get allies now on the map. So like, Princess Peach or Toad or, whoever, Mario, Luigi, all these different characters are placed throughout the map. And if you make it to them before somebody else, they become your ally. And once you roll your die, they also roll another one for you that gives you 1 or 2 extra spaces. But you can have as many allies as you can get. So I had 4 at one time. So I rolled, my die and got 3 or 4 rolls. And then each of my allies rolled their dice. So, you could roll, if they all roll 2, that's 8. And if you roll, a 6, you're gonna move, a ton of spots in one go. So it's pretty neat how they added that in there to help out, the team, make it the strategy completely changes once you get an ally, which is fun because no one can really dictate what you're gonna do.
That's a pretty interesting concept there with that. One of the things I was reading though is that the multiplayer doesn't exist on the game board. Like you can't I couldn't play with you on a game board version of the game. I could only play multiplayer with the missions and the side things.
Oh, really? I haven't tried that yet.
So that'd be interesting.
I know me and the kids, when we play, we always play on a team. So it's, the two characters you pick and then the 2 characters that you're against.
Yep.
And it's fun. And like, in the previous Mario parties, you get down to like the last 2 or 3 turns and, they're 15 spaces away from the star, you're going to win. Well, it's not like that on this one because the last 3 turns, they have 2 stars instead of 1. And if you hold enough coins, you buy both stars at the when you land on it. And while you're playing as a team, let's say me and you are on teams and let's say we're 8 and 9 spaces away from the star. If I roll an 8 and I land on the star, I can buy it. Well, the star doesn't move until you're done. And if you roll 9 and land on the star, you can also buy the same star. So you could theoretically get 2 stars in one row if you're both within the X amount of spaces from the star. So it's pretty interesting. They have secret hidden blocks throughout the game. Yesterday, me and Caleb was playing, and they ended up getting like 2 extra stars out of nowhere, just because that's just how it was.
Who won? Cool. Who won the first couple of games?
Oh, me and Caleb and Kaylee's won every game we played, man. We've been playing against the computer just so they can learn it.
Dude, that game, I remember playing it, back on Super Nintendo or whatever the first one was. I think it was not Super Nintendo, N64, I think was the first one.
Man, it's been so long, I can't even remember, but yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing the first one, Super Mario Party 1, and that got hot and heated. We'd be playing with 4 controllers, and it was fun as hell. I mean, I just remember, and so they've had a couple of iterations since that weren't so great. I think it was I have the Wii U version. And
yeah, I think that one is like Mario Party 10 or something.
Yep.
It was garbage because you all 4 stayed on the same cart together or whatever.
Yeah.
That one was pure garbage. I was pissed.
So compared to that, are we going to get if I were to buy it today, would I get a different game than that?
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
More
this
like
game
the original?
This is probably, I've played every Mario Party game. I pretty much owned every Mario Party game, actually. I could probably pull out my collection. I'm maybe missing 1 or 2, but I've pretty much played or owned every Mario Party edition. And this one's by far the best, just because of the way that the game's laid out. The maps aren't as big. I know a lot of people have been complaining about the maps aren't as big, so like you get around quicker. Also, the coins, there's more coins than needed, which a lot of people was arguing about that. When you go to the store, you can buy stuff for 3 and 5 coins. So, people's bitching about that, which I think is dumb. But I think it's an all around good game, man. Because I like being on the teams. You can be on teams of 2, or you can be, everyone for themselves. The river rapid game is pretty fun. 4 of you on a boat, you're all on a team together.
Is that kind of like in Super Mario 3D World where you're going down the river?
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, so there's 4 of you. You're all on a team together. The object is to make it to the end of your path before time runs out. And the left steers on the left, the right steers on the right, and you got to go around rocks and obstacles. And you bust the balloons. Every balloon you bust, you go to a mini game. If you do the mini game and you beat the record or however well you do, you get more time added to your clock, and then you keep on going down the river. And the goal is to just whatever path you take, make it to the end. And that's how you beat, per se, that level. I think there's like 6 paths you can take, and it's hard though. It gets pretty tough towards the end because the fish jumping and they can stop you for a few seconds at a time, and that's pretty fun though.
That's awesome. It sounds like it's a game that I'm probably going to have to pick up here, but
the kids love it, man. I mean, they've played
2 or 3
games today, and of course, you can do the 10 round, which takes about an hour. 15 rounds takes about 75 minutes, and 75 to 80 minutes, and then the 20 round takes about 2 hours to run. So we haven't gotten brave enough to do a 15 or a 20 round turn. We just keep doing 10.
If you go based off of our new review system, what would you give this for a hype score?
A hype score right now, and I've played about 2 good hours of it. I'd say a good 87. I don't know why that's a good number, but I like it. 87.
That's a good number.
There is a couple of things. One, there's a lot that I haven't even seen. Like there's a lot of other maps, and you get stickers, and you have to unlock. There's a whole other map that I haven't even seen because you have to unlock it. I haven't even played I've only probably played about 20% of the game, map wise. I've only played 2 or 3 maps. But yeah, just out of those 2 or 3 maps I've played, the way it feels, the way it looks, the mini games are awesome. All these new mini games are fun as hell to play. Kids really like them. But yeah, I like it. I've always liked the Mario Party game, but like I said, that last one was pretty horrible. I was pretty upset with that one.
Yeah, I'm with you there, man. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to grab it and play it. The replayability is always great on Mario Party games. Even the bad one,
dude.
Was still
you can play that damn thing for hours and not get bored because it's something different every single time. That's why I like it.
Yeah, I agree. That's awesome, man.
Oh yeah, and with each ally you pick up, each ally has a different block, if that makes sense, a different die. So like the one that sticks out in my head right now, because Caleb always picks him, is Boo. Boo has there's still 6 sides, but he has -2 coin that rolls a 0, -2 coin that rolls a 0, and then he has 2, 3, 4, whatever, 5, whatever it is. Daisy has a 0. No, she has a 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. Hammer Bro has +2 coins, 2 1s, and all 5s. One of them has a 9. So like every player has a different die, and depending on where you're at is what die you can roll. So like if you pick your allies up, whatever ally you have, you can either roll with their dice or their die, or your die, the character you picked, or a normal die. So when you start out, you automatically have 2 die to roll from. You have the normal 1 through 6, and then whatever your character's die is. So I like the aspect of that too. So like if you only need 3 or 4. Well, another thing is too, you know how in the old Mario parties you had to roll like the exact number to land on the star? Well, now it's like open world concept, if that makes sense. So you may be 7 from the star, but you roll like a 13. You can manipulate the map and make it to where you land on the star on the 13th step.
Okay.
So that's another thing I like about it too, because I always roll the highest numbers I can, and then I make it somehow to where I can land on that star, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. That was always a frustrating part. I mean, kind of like Trivial Pursuit or whatever, where you have to roll a specific number just to win or whatever, to get off the island or whatever you're doing for the specific game. So I like the fact that they modified that. So that being said, we were talking last week about the Switch Online, or whatever you want to call it, Nintendo Online. And so I went ahead and got that all taken care of. I subscribed to that. And I got to agree with you, the service is worth it. I mean, I paid $35 for the family. I got 4 accounts on it right now. And all of us can play the different, online games.
Like I told you, I think it's worth it. I mean, it's $35 a year, but at the same time, it's
content. It's content.
I told you. What's that?
It's content. It's content. You're paying $35 for the good content, old content, but it's going to be updated, like you said. But the other key thing is the online play. It's kind of necessary. I understand why you would have to pay for a service, and you're paying $100 or I'm sorry, $60 a year for Xbox and Sony. So this is half of that for a whole family. I think it's worth it if they're going to start providing games that require that type of multiplayer aspect. The one key thing that I've noticed is you have to utilize the app for some of the games for the multiplayer voice, and they need to start working on doing a better job with that. Well, they might already have.
I think that's something that's going to be within the next, I don't know, 2 to 3 months. The chat, because I believe right now not every game has chat capability.
Yeah, that should just be something that comes along with it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I know Fortnite, I believe, has chat capability with the Switch.
Yeah, it does. Yep.
But like these games here, like if me and you, for instance, in right now, since Double Dragon's on there, we could play Double Dragon. We couldn't plug in our headphones and talk to each other because there's no chat capability for the Switch.
But could we go on our phone and connect that way?
Yeah, so they have an app you can download, and that's how you would. It's pretty much you might as well just call me on the phone. Honestly, the way I've read articles and stuff like that, it's so laggy and it cuts in and out so bad. The app does. It would make more sense just to call them on the phone.
Yeah, that's weird.
If you knew the person, you know what I'm saying. But like me and Adam was saying, is like if we do end up playing a game on the NES, I'm just gonna log into my PlayStation, add you to chat there, have my headphones on, and we'll just do that. I mean, that's one way around it if you have multiple systems. But as of right now, the Switch doesn't have a dedicated chat system for all around Switch.
Yeah, they need to work on that. Hey, so little side topic here. Get off of video games for just a minute. But did you happen to catch the UFC pay-per-view this weekend?
Dude, I was so busy I didn't have time to do anything this weekend.
Well, perfect. I can fill you in on what happened. So this was billed as the highest or most important UFC fight in the history of UFC, the biggest pay-per-view ever, blah, blah, blah. You have the Dagestani Russian Khabib Nurmagomedov, I'm butchering that name, but Khabib versus Conor McGregor, the notorious one. And the hype was real. These two guys, whether they really hate each other or not, it seems pretty evident now that they do. But part of that is the hype of how do you make money? Conor utilizes every aspect that he can to make the most money. For him, it's about the sensation as opposed to the victory. Even though I know he wants the victory, he trains hard. He's really good. And you can tell from this fight here. So Khabib is a master at the ground game. He's never lost a fight. He went into this, I think, 26-0 in MMA. And this is the guy, if you've ever heard the stories where when he was a kid, his dad made him wrestle bears. And there's video of it. So when he was like 5-6 years old, he's grappling with real baby bears, and for real. And this is the real deal. Trying to hold them down and stuff. So this guy, now in his adult life, is just, no one believes that he's even capable of being beat. So his only downside is his injuries. He's had a lot of injuries in his career that set him back. And so like as he's going up for a fight, he gets injured and then he's sidelined for a year or whatever. And he's had a couple of those in the UFC. Even through that, he still wins every fight that's put in front of him. And it didn't change here. He beat Conor McGregor pretty cleanly. The first and second round, he just mopped him up. Conor had nothing to respond with. He was getting lit up, getting taken down. And one of the things that a lot of these master grapplers can do is they pinch your legs. So they hold you down, wrap your legs with their legs. So you're sitting kind of cross-legged on your butt with your back against the cage. And his legs are wrapped around yours like he's climbing a tree or something, and you can't do nothing. You can't move. So all you can do is avoid taking damage. So in the first round, Conor didn't take too much damage, but he was completely dominated. Second round, he took damage, pretty significant damage, along with being dominated. Conor came back in the third round, popped him a couple times, and it looked like the tide was turning a little bit. But again, he got taken down. He started doing a good job with the defense and stopping the takedowns. It looked like Khabib was getting a little tired. But I think it went into the, I want to say it went into the fourth round. I could be completely, yeah, it went into the fourth round. And, Conor won that third round. So it looked like the tide was changing. They came out fourth round and they were just scrapping. But during the first 4 rounds there, Conor was doing some things that Khabib thought was illegal, like grabbing the gloves or punch to the back of the head or this or that. And in a fight like this, the referee lets a little bit of things slide. And, he grabbed the fence here and there. I don't think he was really doing super illegal things that you don't see in every fight. I mean, every fight you see this kind of crap. So it wasn't like he was, cheating the system here. He was just doing the things that everybody does. But the animosity leading up to this fight is what caused Khabib to kind of freak out. So to backtrack just a little bit here, Khabib is this Russian gangster. I mean, he's like a true gangster. He's a mob of people with him. He does not back down from people. He will fist fight in the middle of Vegas. His whole entire camp is a bunch of gangsters, and I'm not just saying that because they act, they're like real gangsters, gangsters who joined MMA. And these guys are tough, and they've scrapped full clubs, 8-9 people scrapping with 8-9 people. And these guys are like, primetime fighters. So Conor, being from Dublin and all that, has his own following and his own gangsters that go along with, with him. And basically the stuff that Conor was saying, he was making fun of or poking at his religion, poking at his family, poking at his father. And you don't do that to a true gangster. True gangster is going to fight back. So not going to let it slide. So after the fourth round, he choked Conor out. And he had said beforehand, I'm not here to beat him. I want to destroy his face. And he had a chance. He was punching the shit out of his face. And, he obviously didn't destroy Conor's face, but he tried. And he looked like he really wanted to. So he got him on his stomach, choked him out with a rear naked choke. And Conor tapped out. You'd think that's it, right? But instead, Khabib gets up, starts running around the ring, celebrating, and starts yelling at the corner of Conor, or in the audience. One of Conor's teammates was yelling at Khabib. Khabib jumps the fucking fence, dives off the top of the octagon, and kicks this random guy who technically was a fan, even though he worked in Conor's camp. He's just a fan in the crowd. He wasn't working it that night. So he jumps off and they brawl, and the crowd starts fucking fighting. And then about 70 security guards come running in, try to stop it all. Meanwhile, 2 other guys jump into the octagon and start attacking Conor in the middle of the freaking octagon. And
holy shit, really?
Yeah, man. It was real. He got popped twice, like really, really hard from behind, basically sucker punched twice. And it was a pretty significant incident that will probably likely, because of the way this world works, it'll probably work out in UFC's favor. It's footage, it's real, and it's it's setting up another match between these two. But as a true MMA fan, I watch WWE if I want to watch that, and I watch fighting. And when I want to watch real fighting, I watch UFC and Bellator and all those. So I do like seeing Conor be Conor, but it's also a detraction from the sport for me. I've been watching this sport since UFC 1.
Conor just doing this for the money, man. I don't think he cares win, lose, or draw anymore. Well, After he made that big fight with Mayweather, he made all that money. But he don't care about winning no more, dude, because he figured out, I don't need to win to make money. So what's the point?
You're 100% right, but part of his character is that he's the best. And when you lose, you got to be humble, and he doesn't like being humble. So he put on the humble act. He's already tweeting, I got popped good, see you next time. He's starting it up. And when the time comes, he'll be flashy again. Who knows? After he lost to Nate Diaz, due to the same thing, he got choked out. He was humble. He didn't do a whole lot of trash talk until he came back, fought Nate Diaz again, and won. And then the trash talk came. He's like, I told you so, motherfuckers. Well, this time around, there's real animosity. People could really get hurt. And from what I understood, in Vegas after the fight was over, there were tons and tons of brawls and fights between Russians and Irishmen outside the stadium and throughout the city. And that's the kind of stuff that you got to watch out for. Yeah, it's fun and games inside that octagon. You make a lot of money, but real people are going to get hurt for no reason at all, you know, and that's the unfortunate part of that.
Yeah, man, that's why I stay away from that shit.
But I got to tell you about two other fights real quick. So Tony Ferguson fought Anthony Pettis. It seemed like it's going to be a contender matchup. Tony Ferguson was the interim champion, got injured, and then they took the belt away from him. That's how Khabib got the belt. Ultimately, Conor had the belt and just stopped fighting because he fought Floyd Mayweather. So the whole division's kind of been in this haywire mess for a while, years, because of Conor McGregor. So Khabib was the rightful champion. Khabib beat Conor. He's now still the rightful champion. Tony Ferguson fought Anthony Pettis, and it was a bloodbath. One of those like crazy fights where they're just wailing each other, and you're like, holy shit, is someone going to throw in the towel? Well, after the end of the second round, Anthony Pettis had broken his hand, and he had to tap out in between rounds. He couldn't continue. So Tony Ferguson won, and it was just a hell of a fight. So if you haven't caught that one, I'd recommend checking that out, getting the highlights or something of that, because that was crazy. It was probably one of the better fights of all time. And then there was this other fight. There's this guy named Derek Lewis. The Black Beast is his nickname. Is this big black dude who is a heavyweight. He has shit for cardio, but he is as funny as can be. So this guy was fighting another undefeated Russian dude called Drago. The Russian nickname was Drago. So Derek Lewis got his ass kicked for 2 rounds and 5 minutes? So 2 rounds, 4 minutes, and 40 seconds. He got his ass absolutely destroyed. And in the last 10 to 20 seconds, he unloaded bombs from Hiroshima and absolutely clocked that guy's life out of his head, knocked him out, pounded his head against the floor, and won the fight in one of the most amazing finishes ever. Gets on the mic. After he wins, he takes off his pants. He's wearing his underpants in the middle of the ring. Joe Rogan comes out and he's like, Derek, let me, that was amazing, but I got to ask you, why'd you take your pants off? He says, my balls was hot.
Wow, really?
And then he goes on this rant about how Donald Trump told him he had to beat up this Russian motherfucker because he's sick of all these Russians getting him in trouble. And his guy's a riot.
Oh my God.
He has an Instagram, Derek Lewis. You got to check him out. He is absolutely hilarious. But that was another one you got to watch. This guy launches bombs like rockets right out. When he connects these big dudes who seem to take a lot of punishment, he just knocks them out. So it was a really, really good fight. Couple of other good fights on the card, but those are the main ones that I wanted to talk about today. And definitely check it out.
I'll have to check the highlights out on that one.
Yeah, especially the people jump in the cage. If you let me know, I'll send you a link because it was crazy.
Yeah, I'll definitely look at that. I want to see what happened with that.
So,
what else? Any more fighting? Are we good on that?
Yeah, we're good on that. I've been messing with my 3D printer too. I don't want to get into too much right now because there's not a whole lot to talk about. But I showed you that thing I made, a business card with that was pretty
slick though, man. I'm pretty excited to see what the next few months is going to make out of that thing. I'm sure you're going to buy a bigger one and you're going to start. Before I know, you'll have a 3D house printed or something.
Maybe I'll print you a little one, but it takes a while, man. Just that little business card thing I made took like an hour and a half, and that's the problem with 3D printing. To get it right, to make it look decent enough, and it still is something that you can tell is messed up. It's been 3D printed. I only paid a couple $100 for mine. The ones that are thousands of dollars do better dots per inch or DPI. So you pay more, you get better product. I'm okay with the one I got because I'm just trying to make little things for around the house. A holder for my PSVR aim controller, or something for my microphone to hold it better or something. And there's so much out there that you can just get for free that people have already designed. But I already started designing my own thing. I got this little thing called a Stream Deck, an Elgato Stream Deck, which is for streamers. And basically it allows you to switch between different scenes. It allows you to pull up different applications. It's like icons, but it's a actual little push button thing with lighted up buttons that can change dynamically. It's like 15 little screens. So I got a holder for that someone had designed, And then I also have another thing, like a cell phone, that has other buttons on it that controls the lights in my house. It controls the HDMI ports on my TVs and things like that. So I put these two items together, and I'm going to build and print a little thing that's like a little control center for myself, rather than having these two stands on my desk that kind of clutter up the desk. So it's stupid shit like that that I really love. And hopefully I'll be able to actually use that stuff to, to increase the quality of what I can do here, because,
a little bit of something, something. Yeah, yeah.
Because that's what this is all about. I got to be able to produce quality content so that people can listen and enjoy it. And
I'm Joe.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Joe.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Joe.
I'm Kevin.
A little bit of something, something.
You know what I mean? And so that's what it's all about.
Dude, that sounds so dumb. I love it. I'm Joe. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh man. So what you got? So what
I need these sound bites so I can put them in like my ringtones. A little something, something.
You gotta, it's so funny. I'm going back through all the audio and shit, and we have 50 hours worth of audio now. And I'm trying to find specific things that I remember from different podcasts. So if anybody can remember anything funny or whatever from a specific episode, tweet me or hit us up and message us, and I'll isolate it and pop it out, because it's fun to do.
That's funny, dude. A little something, something.
There was a couple from
I don't even know what podcast that was from, dude.
There was also there was a series of things like I had to walk away from the mic for a bit, so I put it on pause, but it was still recording, and you were like singing. I was gonna cut that, but.
Oh, you should have, dude. That's great.
Oh man, it's great. It's good stuff. So hey, man, we're a couple days. I mean, next podcast we do, we're gonna have the launch of Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and I am excited about this. Yeah, man,
that's what I was gonna talk about. We got 4 days. So if anybody pre-ordered or bought already the digital version, the countdown has begun. I think it's 2 days. In a few hours, it'll start automatically downloading, so you can have it. Or you can have it downloaded, I should say. You won't be able to play, obviously, until the 12th. But at least they started the preloading of it. I did get a phone call from GameStop today saying, because I pre-ordered it for $5 to get a beta code, so me and the wifey could play, and we could play online with Adam. But they're going to start doing the release at 9 p.m. on the so you're gonna actually get it on the 11th, I think they said.
But you're doing the digital 9. or the physical?
We're doing the digital, but it's still all the same. You're gonna get the game on the 11th earlier than midnight. So but yeah, so that's coming out, man, on the 12th. If you pre-ordered it, you get to start doing the download now. A lot of chatter going on that they fixed the amount of time it takes to actually gun somebody down, which is good, because I think there was you feel like you had too much health in the Blackout. I mean, I still did fine. People weren't complaining too bad about it, but enough people were complaining about it. They went and looked into it and said they did lower the amount of time it does take to actually kill someone. They made the weapons
on that point. It's kind of funny to see the balance of that, right? Because when you play Call of Duty or Battlefield or any of those types of games, you die pretty quick. You get hit, you're done. And unless you're, especially if you're playing hardcore. But then there's those moments where you get hit a couple times and you get away, or you hit somebody, you drilled them and they get away. And so I think that's always a balance that they have to work on and tweak. But then you get games
I just wish they would put hardcore mode in. That's all they need.
They will.
You could have, I don't know, man. I don't know if they're going to have a hardcore Blackout. I don't see it.
I sure as hell hope so. But yeah, you're probably
right. To me, that would mean, I don't know. That's a whole nother
ball game right there.
Game almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do that.
That being said, they do put hardcore and core in multiplayer. I don't see why they couldn't flip a switch and just put core, hardcore, Blackout. Because I'm telling you right now, dude, if you played hardcore Blackout, it
That'd be
would
awesome.
be epic.
Well, that's what I was going to say too. Is like, so I'm interested to see what Battlefield does with their how fast it is, the time to die they're calling it, and for me it's pretty quick usually, but because that's just how I play.
Me too, man.
But yeah, you see Fortnite and stuff. You got some of these battles can take minutes, or it feels like minutes if you're engaging and pulling back and building and stuff. Call of Duty and Battlefields are different beasts because there is no building.
Oh yeah, because when I run up on your ass in Call of Duty and I'm shooting you, there's no wall to put up. There's no freaking 10 by 10 wall to pull out of your ass. It's just going to be eat the bullets.
And that's
all there is to it.
This one streamer I watch, he plays a lot of these shooting games and things like that, and he plays some of them are odd games. But one of the games he plays is DayZ, and that's where I saw him and started watching him on Twitch many years ago when I was watching DayZ. That's the game we talked about a bit. And they're still going. DayZ's releasing updates and things, and I believe that they're releasing a Battle Royale mode. But what's funny about DayZ is the time to kill is like instant. So if you hit somebody, it's like real life where you get shot in the head, you're fucking done. And you don't even get to see where it came from. You don't even fall. The screen just goes black and it says, you are dead. So
nice.
It's like in that game, there was the whole point was survival. You push forward, you keep going, you eat, you sleep, all that stuff.
Well, the cool thing about Blackout, though, it gives you a kill cam, which is cool because, well, if me and you are on a duo and I get killed, I can't see the kill cam until obviously you die. Yep. And then I can go watch the kill cam, which is awesome. But I still laugh, man. Me and Adam was playing, and he was like, dude, there's a guy literally to your right sniping out a window, right? Dude had no idea how open he was. I headshot him from maybe 50 yards, bro, with a 50 cal. I never laughed so hard in my life because as I shot, his body just disappeared. Like it went straight through the trailer, man. I'm like, I'm pretty sure if you load that map, there's just going to be an X on that trailer. The trailer's going to be there because they couldn't clean that guy up.
It was awesome.
Bad.
So one of the things that I was thinking about is with the success of Fortnite, obviously, and what makes Fortnite so successful is obviously the how many kids. I mean, it's just loaded with kids now. It's even worse than it was a week ago and 2 weeks before that. But all the different cosmetics. That's part of what has boosted this game into surrealism, into like it can still be considered early access, but they're making more money than any video game has ever made because people like to buy the different pickaxes and the different costumes. But also, they have seasons, right? And these seasons are manipulating the way the game is. There's different weapons, there's different map characteristics and all that stuff. And this season, there's quite a bit going on. Season 6 we're in week 2 or 3 now. And so my point being, a lot of people love Call of Duty, but will it get stale after say you play Blackout for 4 months, and you've is it going to start to get boring? Is it going to start to? And I don't know if we can answer that question because we don't have it in front of us right now. We just have that.
Well, I mean, it's just like playing multiplayer. Multiplayer never got boring to me.
But ever. I think that's one of the
some of the older Call of Duties, like these newer Call of Duties, it just sucked.
But there's so many maps. There's so many maps, and so I got to admit that when I was playing Fortnite we were playing it at the beginning, before any seasons, before any characters, before anything. It was just default skins and that's it, and no map changes or nothing. And I recall that it started to get stale for me, not horribly stale, but it started to get stale, and that's what brought me to go into Save the World. And that's where I, left off. And I wasn't there for the big boom because I was playing Save the World. I stopped playing the Fortnite for season 1, 2, and 3. And so I'm interested to see if that fall off happens, or what I would love to see.
The fall off might happen, but here's the thing. Fortnite has Save the World, which nobody plays. And then because you have to pay for it, a bunch of, freebies out there. And then you have Fortnite Battle Royale, which is free, right?
Yep.
Well, guess what? If you get tired of Battle Royale, that's all you have. You have nothing else.
Yeah.
If you have Call of Duty, you have 3 options. You play the campaign, you play multiplayer, or you play Blackout.
I'm just wondering if they're going to follow and take a note from Epic and, work on seasons or work on map changes and things like that, or if it's just going to be.
I hope not, man. I don't want it to be like a Fortnite. I don't want seasons and all that bullshit.
Well, but I got to admit, it would be cool to have challenges
during Blackout.
These seasons are keeping the game fresh, and I know that there's reasons to dislike Fortnite. There's reasons to be like, oh, I hate how the shooting is, the feedback on the guns and all this and that. But there's also, you gotta love the fact that Epic is doing everything that they can to keep.
Hey man,
the game
I'm not
fresh.
Hating on Epic. All right, them motherfuckers are nothing but smart. Okay, genius.
Yeah,
the whole entire Epic company, geniuses. Everybody earned their money from one game, and they've made. I mean, that's it. I don't know how many games Epic's made. They could have made 1,000. Those other 999 does not matter. Fortnite has made them nothing but money, hand over fist, and they're going to ride this horse until the poor dude is dead.
Yep. And we just passed the 1 year mark of Battle Royale. We did have the birthday celebration a couple months ago.
Stupid.
But that was a Save the World thing.
Birthday cake on
the true birthday. It was funny though. But it was
stupid.
The true birthday was just a couple days ago, maybe a week or two ago. And so the start of season 6 is the start of was the day that they that the 1 year anniversary. They didn't do anything for that. I was interested to see if they would, but they didn't. They just started season 6 up, and season 6 has a new concept. What happened at the end of season 5 was the loot lake turned into a bounce pad because the rotating block. They call the rotating block Kevin, by the way, on the internet. So
yeah, I saw that.
So
we need another Kevin out there running around.
There's only one and only. There's only one and only. You know what I mean? I'm Kevin.
Oh,
So
that's awesome, dude. I want it. I want a soundboard just so I can do that shit all day.
So that thing fell into Loot Lake, and then what happened next was Loot Lake turned into a bounce pad, giant purple bounce pad, and then the promo for season 6 was that the cube, which has all this crazy power, picked up the island and the house in the center of Loot Lake and went up into the sky and was hovering, and then below it, Loot Lake is now lootable. There's actually a lot of loot in Loot Lake. It's a swirling whirlpool, and there's a ton of stuff inside Loot Lake now, and you can get across it a little bit faster because you can go down into the whirlpool and get shot across and stuff like that. But when they went right into the story right away, because one of the problems with season 5 was not a whole lot happened in those first few weeks. It got kind of boring. Well, in season 5, a lot of runes were made around the map, and then they turned into like these jumping areas where you could jump up and down really high and things, and low gravity field, I think they called it. Well, now the island that's floating above the map is moving up between each rune. So every day when you log in, it's gone a little bit further to another rune. And I don't quite know why or what it's doing. There's no details on the story there, but you can fly up to the island. So as long as you get close enough, you can jump, and then you can catapult yourself basically across the map. So it's a transportation method that is pretty awesome. You know, as long as you get over to that area, you can kind of fly up and you can surprise people, and you can do quite a bit. And it's also cool to get up on that little island that's, there's the old characteristics of the building, the tunnel underneath, and then there's a whole bunch of lootable stuff all around it. So one of the problems I always had was that Loot Lake was not lootable. Now it is, and now there's 2 of them, and it's pretty neat. They
finally listened to us after about 14 damn seasons of having nothing to fucking loot from Loot Lake.
And then they have Shadow Stones, and Shadow Stones basically let
those are pretty cool. I know that I did play the first day, and a dude disappeared and scared the shit out of me. But it's like they took them in the game. They're like, oh, you know what? We messed up. Something's wrong. And they took them out for like 4 days. And I'm like, what the hell?
Well, people were figuring out how to shoot with them without coming out of there was a bug, I think, on the computer version. So they took them out of the game, but then they needed them back for a specific challenge that they had, so they put them back in the game, and I think they're working okay now. I was reading that there's still some bugs, but yeah, you're basically invisible for 45 seconds. You're invisible if you stand still, hard to see if you move, but you're a wisp of a ghost, and you can go faster. And then they have these circles on each of the rune stations, little purple circles that are like bounce pads. And if you're a ghost and you jump on the bounce pad, you can literally fly a quarter of the map. You can go really, really far. So they've added multiple methods of transportation, which is, I mean, if you ask Jed or a lot of other people who play the game, they hate running simulators. Well, it's kind of no longer a running simulator. When you play, you're either getting in a golf cart, shopping cart, flying through a portal, or using the new Rift system, or the flying island, or whatever. There's so many different things now. The handheld rifts and all that stuff, and now you have these shadow stones to get around faster. So they've listened to the feedback there. They're moving around. You're getting around the map faster, and there's so many places to loot, which disperses the people on the map. So the engagements are a bit different. I'm liking it. I'm still digging it. I'm still playing it. It's easier to play than pretty much any game because you can just jump in and jump out. But I do have games on the backlog, and I do have games coming up that I want to play, so I'm going to have to put it away for a little bit so I can tackle and finish Spider-Man. I'm going to have to put it away. So that
I can't believe you didn't finish Spider-Man. I don't know what you've been smoking, dude.
No, that is strictly because what happens is the second I stop playing something I'm so addicted to, it takes me a little while to get back into it. And so I just have to prepare myself and do it. I was playing it. That was the only thing I was playing. And then...
Yeah, we beat Spider-Man so fast, I forgot to blink.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play it and beat it soon. It's just I gotta get into it. I think it's more of the new season 6 stuff has got me intrigued, so I'm playing.
I bet
that.
me, Kaylee, and Caleb beat that game in ways nobody else can. Literally, I would have to find the mission. Kaylee would swing us to the mission, and then Caleb would fight the people at the mission. And that's how we beat the majority of those damn games. It was ridiculous.
That's a great.
It took three people to do it.
I like that. I like that a lot. So
I didn't get to fight hardly anybody towards the end. Caleb kept kicking everybody's ass.
We were talking before.
I always told him, I was like, don't go to the story missions because I want to be in here, while you're doing the story mission. You can go fight the bases and just random people. Yep. So Caleb's like, Dad, I think I went to a story mission. So I go in there and he's fighting Dr. Lee. And I'm like, well, go ahead. And he beat him. I'm like,
End
what
of the
the
game.
hell, dude? Yeah, he beat him. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? And then when he was fighting Rhino and Scorpion, well, he beat the shit out of Rhino. And the fight was so long, he was like, all right, Dad, I'm done. You're going to have to fight this other guy. So I ended up beating Scorpion. But yeah, he whooped the shit out of Rhino too. I was like, my God, man.
That's funny.
Yeah, Kaylee's like, I don't like the fighting. I like this. I like flying around the city. I was like, all right, well, you get us there, and then Caleb will clean it up for us. And he did. So
before the podcast, we were talking a little bit about some of the DLC coming out. You want to go over that for us?
Yeah. Oh, I've been a perfect one right there for something.
I need to isolate the yeah. I just made a song out of that one, but I need to isolate that one.
This shit is so funny, dude. Yeah. All right. So, game has been out now, a little over a month? I think it came out September 7th, so it's October 8th. Yeah, a little over a month. Anyway, we got a new DLC coming out. It's called The City Never Sleeps. It says it's going to be released in 3 parts. The first chapter is called The Heist. It's going to be released October 23rd. It's going to introduce some Felicia Hardy, which is, Black Cat. So her mission is going to come out. She's going to have a new enemy faction and 3 additional Spidey suits. So that's kind of interesting. I'm racking my brain trying to figure out what other suit this man can have. I think he has 21 suits in the game when you get done.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So now he's got an additional 3 you can unlock, which is awesome. The Heist will be followed by Turf Wars, which comes out in November, and Silver Lining, which comes out in December. So you got October coming out with The City Never Sleeps DLC which has the heist with Black Cat. So I mean, in the game, you do very little with Black Cat. I don't know if you've gotten to that part yet, Kevin.
I have not. No,
Okay, well,
unfortunately.
it's not like a spoiler, but I mean, you end up running a Black Cat, and well, I didn't even freaking run into Black Cat. That was Caleb that found her. I don't even know where he found her at, but he found her, and then you have these Black Cat missions that you have to do, and once you find her, you get a little treat there at the end. But I knew something had to come of that, because why else would she be there? You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that
sure.
first DLC is coming out October 23rd. I would imagine. I'm hoping, I haven't read anything or seen anything, but I'm hoping the city gets unlocked. You know what I mean? Like the other part of the city, because if you look out in the distance, it's made. And I don't think they would do that much work not to unlock the city. So I'm hoping they expand. You can go across the bridge maybe. I don't know. That'd be kind of nice to see. And then for the Turf Wars and Silver Lining, there's not a lot of information on it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be worth the buy. You can buy the City Never Sleeps DLC for $25. But you can also purchase the individual chapters for $9.99 each. And it says the DLC is also included in the game's $80 digital deluxe edition. So to me, that seems like the best buy if you haven't bought Spider-Man yet. You could buy the $80 digital edition and get the game plus the City Never Sleeps. So it's not terrible. If you buy the DLC, it's $25. If not, you can buy them by $10 each, and you're going to save yourself $5 if you just buy the whole thing. So it's not terrible.
And then you'll probably get the other DLC, right? So eventually saving yourself quite a bit.
Yeah, I think the $10 for a DLC is not bad. That's reasonable.
25 seems a little steep.
So I think it'd be all right, though. I think it'd be good.
Oh, are you saying 25 for all three?
Yeah. So it says that Marvel Spider-Man: The City Never Sleeps costs $25. PS4 owners can purchase individual chapters for $9.99 each. So it's $25 for all three.
I see. I thought you were saying it was 25 for the first one. That makes a bit more sense.
The City Never Sleeps is the DLC, but it's going to be released in 3 parts.
Okay. So it's not 3 separate DLC
it's
packages.
So like the City Never Sleeps is the DLC, but you're going to unleash, or they're going to release October 23rd a DLC, or a section of the DLC. November's a section, and December's a section. So what they're saying is, if you just want to buy the heist, it's $10, and then you want to buy Turf Wars, it's $10, and then if you want to buy the Silver Lining, it's $10. So you're going to pay $30 for all 3. You can save yourself by buying the entire thing for $25.
That's awesome.
So I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, I have zero complaints. I mean, zero complaints about Spider-Man. That game was badass. The kids liked it. You liked it. I mean, everybody likes it, man. I mean, the only thing that a lot of people complain about is the story. The story
so I
wasn't
just
long
got to get
enough.
this shit done. I just got to beat it.
I mean, I was kind of upset though. Like, it did seem like there was, to me, it seemed like there was more side quests and side missions and sidebar stuff versus storyline.
Yeah, the story. I mean, I feel like I'm tearing through the story pretty quick.
It's almost like it's 60-40. So I wish it was more 50-50 or maybe 60-40 on the other end, 60% of an actual game, 40% side quest.
Well, when you look at a game like The Witcher, just because of the side quests and stuff,
dude, that game is stupid.
That game is like 80%
you're gonna
side
spend
quests.
100 hours on side missions, and some of those damn side missions take you
hours.
an hour or 2.
Yep. Yeah, but that's like an 80-20 side, or like 80% side quest, but the 20%, if you just did the story, it's still a 60-hour game. It's crazy.
It is. The Witcher's an amazing game, dude. I had to put it down for a while.
Yeah, no, I can't wait for the next one, Cyberpunk whatever 2035 or whatever that's called. That's going to be a badass game. I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah, I'm just hoping Blackout doesn't flop and turn into a pile of steamy shit in the field.
I don't think it will. I'm looking at Battlefield's what's it called? Battle Royale, and it's called Firestorm.
Man, we're talking about all these new games. Fuck that. Hurry up December 2018 so I can get Ninja Gaiden.
Oh,
let's go.
Seriously.
I'm about to tear the shit out of that game. And you have this, and you have the save feature too. Shit. About to beat the hell out of this game, man.
Ninja Gaiden, man. Gaiden, however you say it.
I freaking love that game, dude. I've played that game so much. So fun.
So listen to this real quick, because I'm just reading over this Firestorm. So it's going to be a ring of fire. That's how Battlefield's system is going to work. Basically, you're having a war in a ring of fire. It says, fight to be the last infantry squad standing of 64 players in 16 squads. So that's it. It's not going to have 100. Maybe in the later iterations or whatever, and it looks like it's just squads.
Well, the same thing that happened with Blackout. There was only 80, and then it went to 88.
Yep.
And then it went to 100 the last.
But that was for the beta. This is the announcement. Yeah. This is their announcement. So.
Oh, it's the actual game. Okay.
Yeah. And it also says that you're going to be able to drive tanks and other transport vehicles. Let's see. Obviously, work together just to secure objectives. And then it says it's going to be the biggest Battlefield map to date. I'd hope so. But they have some pretty big maps that kind of qualify for, there's a battle royale anyways.
It feels like I'm really going somewhere and I play that goddamn game.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'll meet you over at point B in about 20 minutes.
Now here's
literally
the key
20 minutes
is destruction. And that's what I wish you could have in the Call of Duty. I think destruction is important for battle royale.
I don't think they brought that to Call of Duty because it's such a known factor in Battlefield.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think that's the only reason why they didn't do it.
They'd feel like it's copying or something.
They would feel like they took something from their competitor to make their game feel like it's their game. You know what I mean? And I honestly think that's why they haven't done it.
Yep.
I mean, the battle royale aspect is not like that because you can completely change a battle royale game. But the minute you put in destruction, everyone's gonna know, like, oh shit, they did that because Battlefield's been doing it from day one. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that with the destruction, and then it says they're gonna have stunning Battlefield graphics and audio, which I am not surprised because it's a Battlefield game. And it's going to tie into your company Battlefield 5 progression, which I don't know what the company thing is, but let's see. Let me take a look. What is the company? Make a name for yourself in the company. It's a collection of custom soldiers, weapons, and vehicles. Okay, so you can build your company, which is your appearance and your outfits and your vehicles. So as you play, you gain visual customizations, much like Fortnite, but in a Battlefield look. That's cool. Okay. We'll see. I mean, it's yet to be determined. No one's seen it yet. The Firestorm. I haven't heard anything about it, so I can't wait. That's obviously on the radar for me. But I want to tell you about something that is on the radar for me November 9th. We got 1 month and 1 day, and that is Tetris Effect. The Tetris Effect is coming. And are you ready? It's a PlayStation VR and PlayStation video game. It might be on other systems as well, but I don't care. I'm going to be playing it on the VR. And if you haven't heard or listened to the song, watch the trailer, this is going to be something that will take people into another dimension. And I can't wait.
Calm down, Kevin. Calm down. Calm down with the VR.
I'm serious though, man.
Hey, while we're talking about futuristic shit here, have you realized that they're trying to confirm a Borderlands 3?
I did read about it a little bit, and I
wish
think
they
that's
would
a good
hurry
idea.
the fuck up. Been waiting
seriously.
for 5 years for this damn game to unload. Come on.
Dude, I think they're just waiting for a little bit of the dust to settle before they announce it, because there's a lot of games that are on the horizon, We have a couple of
Dude,
big
I'm
ones.
telling you, if they would just say Battlefield, if Borderlands 3 was getting released, blah, blah, I'm telling you, man, all Borderlands, so fun, man.
They're one of the funnest
so fun.
series of games I've ever played, and it sucks that they don't. But see, they don't shove it down your throat.
That is true. You didn't really hear anything about Borderlands when they first
No, they don't push it. They just release it. And I remember Borderlands 1, that song from Cage the Elephant. I remember watching commercials on TV for it. So they did announce it. They did push it that way, but they weren't one thing I will say bad about Assassin's Creed was it felt like every 6 months they were releasing a new one. And it's okay, you give it some time. Let us digest what we just played. And, now you have Borderlands. It's like Half-Life 3. People have been waiting 15, 20 years for that game. People are waiting 5 years for I think Borderlands 3, they're still getting the sequels, the pre-sequels, the Telltale games. They're making money off all that stuff, so they don't feel like they need to. But they got that thing ready, right? I mean, it's sitting there.
It's probably sitting there on the damn producer's desk.
Yeah. Well, it's probably developed. It's probably ready to go. It's probably close. Or maybe they're waiting to be a launch title on another system or something. So,
ain't no rest for the wicked. Oh,
I love that song. Hey, I wanted to ask you if you had a chance to take a look at Astrobot. Have you heard about this one?
The what?
So it's called Astrobot, and again, it's PlayStation VR. I know, but
oh my god, man, with the damn.
I know, but there's going to be something that makes you go, okay, I'll give it a try. Right. Now, Astrobot is, I think, that type of game for you. This game, what you got to do is Google it or whatever. This is a Sony, the robots in the what's it called? The camera thing
Playroom.
that they have.
It looks like it's Playroom, yeah.
It's the Playroom, right? So Astrobot is the iconic character that they're creating for VR, for the PlayStation VR, kind of like a Mario. And they had in one of the demo discs, or one of the first things that you could do, there's a Playroom VR actually, and you can go play Rescue Mission where you go around a level, and it's like a third person type thing where you navigate, but you need VR to do it because you have to look at certain things and you have to direct your robot, and you can only find things by being able to see in the virtual space. And so you're trying to basically rescue all these little robots that are hidden throughout the world. Well, they went ahead and made a full game out of it. And this is the first game that's actually turned the heads of people at IGN and things like that, where they're saying, okay, now the VR's on the map, because this is a game that's going to have a story. You're going to want to play the next one. You're going to want to get a hold of this one. Doesn't matter the price, that type of thing. So the reviews that are coming along with this are very, very highly acclaimed. I'm going to be adding it to my bucket list of things to play, but it's not, I got other things to do right this second. But since I'm not worried about a deal, I'll buy this when I'm ready, and I'm going to play it. But what you should do is watch a couple videos of it, because it looks really good. It's one of those games. It's not a, super action game. It's not that. It's those like Zelda or Mario type games that.
I'll have to check that one out, maybe.
Yeah, that just builds the platform.
I might give that a go, maybe.
And Crystal played it. That's the thing. Crystal played the demo version of it, the one on the Playroom VR, and she loved it. And that tells me that if she can play a game like that and love it, and she forgot that she was in the VR world and she was just getting into it, anybody could. So I definitely recommend you taking a look at it. Your kids will love it. That's the type of game that Leanne will play. So definitely check that out.
Good deal, man.
So what you got?
That's all I have.
Well,
what are you
two other quick things just to cross all this stuff off my list.
Yep, go ahead.
I don't know, this is just a rumor, but I was reading a story that PlayStation 5, they're considering backwards compatibility. With that being said, as we've seen this generation and last generation, backwards compatibility is not the top of their list. So, I'll wait for more details there, but I'll tell you, I feel like the system, my account is my Sony account, right? It's not my Sony PlayStation 4 account. So all these games I'm buying, it doesn't hurt them at all if I can play every single one of them on the next system, right? It hurts sales.
I don't. The jump from PS4 Pro to PS5, what is it? What are you doing?
It's going to have to be significant.
I mean, I don't even see a jump yet because
Well,
4K isn't even
it's not about that
4K
though.
isn't even like mainstream yet, honestly. There's a shit ton of people that don't even know what 4K is.
Well, they need to get there. They need to let, the systems have to be able to handle it just right out the gate, because that is the next step, because they're already talking 8K.
Yeah, but what are you
and things
gonna
like that.
what are you gonna do? I mean, PS4 Pro is the highest quality 4K you can get. I mean, they can't do 8K or 6K or whatever.
It's about the realistic, the nature of these games being able to provide realistic facial expressions and things like that. It's getting the computations necessary to have better looking visuals, more realistic visuals, and things like that. They're close. I mean, again, each step it's harder to make you wow. Like between the PS3 and the PS4, like we were talking about a couple podcasts ago, PS3 at the end of it was producing games that look just as good as any of the PS4 games out there. I mean,
if you think about it, though, dude, the PS4 has been out for a while.
It has. It doesn't feel like it, only because for some reason it still feels new to me.
Well, the Pro's been out for only, 2 years?
But yeah, if you think about it, we're talking 5-6 years. But I've built such a big library on this PS4 that even if the 5 came out next week, I'd still have to be playing this thing for so long, unless, and this is what I want to say, if they were to introduce backwards compatibility out the gate, I'd put this PS4 Pro on eBay and I'd start playing on my PS5, and I'd play all the games I got on my backlog on that. And I'd buy all the new games too, because that's just what we do. So I hope that this library I'm building, my PlayStation library, is just that. It shouldn't be a PS4 library. It should be a PlayStation.
Yeah,
These games should be capable of playing.
They might do it. Little fun fact, though.
I don't need upscaling. I don't need anything like that. I mean, it'd be cool to have that stuff, but it should just be able to play as is, as it were on a PS4.
This might be a rumor, but obviously it's going to be the PS5. But they're saying if they release the PS5 late 2019, that it's saying that it could be released before the Xbox. Are you ready for this?
Oh no. What are they coming up with?
The Xbox 2.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's what they're calling it, man. I swear.
I hope it's spelled TOO.
Oh, that'd be sick. It would be, dude. I swear to God, if I had money, I would pay Microsoft to call it the Xbox TOO.
That would be awesome.
I mean, think about it, man. PlayStation is just like, look, bro, we're going to keep this simple. PS1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're just going to keep going these numbers. Man, Xbox says, well, they're not stupid, but it's just like Xbox 360.
Well, it should have been the 720. One. It should have been the 720.
I mean,
but it's kind of like Dunkin' Donuts, man. They changed their name to Dunkin', and it's like, why? Because it costs an extra whatever to print donuts on the bottom of your cup. I mean, you're changing your brand. Xbox did some disservice to their customers, to their brand, by going from Xbox 360 to Xbox One. They should have just been clean about it and said, look, we're trying to create a new generation of systems or whatever. We're starting with this one. This was the one. But instead they were like, this is the one unit you need. Well, what about the next one? Is it going to be the 1-2? Are we going through Mario levels?
This is also one of the two you need. This is the third one you would need.
Also,
Xbox third. Oh, that'd be cool.
The Xbox also.
Oh, that'd be good too. The Xbox One edition. Xbox 1.1. Oh, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start making up these damn names and just patent them. So when they do come up with some stupid shit like the Xbox 2.0,
just start
buddy.
Buying, that's mine.
That's mine.
Domains.
I guarantee if you go out there and look up who owns PlayStation 7, 8, 9, and 10, guarantee you Sony already has it wrapped up.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Because they're not stupid.
So you were saying, though, like, what more do you need? Well, I read a funny story, and that leads me into this next thing, and then we'll wrap it up. So there's a game coming out. We talked about it quite a bit. It's called Dreams, and it's supposed to release in 2018. So we only got, a little under, we have 2 months and a half a month, and it's not coming out in October. So it's either going to be November or December, unless they delay it, and I hope they don't. But it was announced that Dreams is going to run all their games, all the games you create at 60 frames per second, which is pretty significant. But then it did say that you're going to be held as you create these levels and you make them more and more complex. You're going to be held to the same problems that developers have when they try to do too much, and you're going to have your frame rate reduced if you try to do too much. And they plan on that being a high level. There's a high cap there. And we'll see. I mean, maybe that'll be one of the problems when the game comes out. Everyone's complaining, oh, everything I do is 30 frames per second. But that being said, it's great that they made that announcement that they're going to lock it at 60 frames per second. And most of the things, as long as you don't do too much, is going to do that. And it's going to also generate a whole new group of people who are going to want to develop video games. And, I hope that my kids enjoy doing that kind of stuff. I know that with Minecraft and Toy Story, or whatever it's called, Disney Infinity, Toy Box Mode, all these games like that, Roblox, it's about building and creating. Well, this is going to be...
We're going to be playing video games created by like 9-year-olds soon.
I know. And you know what? They're going to be good, because this game is going to be good. And these 9-year-olds and all these kids playing these games, that they have potential. It's amazing to see what they can do in these Fortnite and whatnot, building and all that crap. Imagine what Kaylee could do in Dreams.
It'd be sick.
So Dreams is going to be in PlayStation VR, and going along with what we are just talking about, that's another factor in the next iteration of consoles. If Microsoft wants to get into the VR environment, if they're going to really expand that, the systems have to be better at handling it. Maybe bundle up the console box, that side box for the VR into the PlayStation, and amp up the capabilities of the VR so that you're looking at VR in 4K. Because right now, when you put that headset on, you're looking at VR in 520 by 520. Each eye is 520 or 540, and you get your 1080 by your two eyes combining the image. It should be higher resolution than that. And yeah, I know that they're also working for the next generation of VR units. They're working on ways to reduce the fatigue and the nausea that is caused by it. So there's scientists getting into that, looking at why it's caused and how to stop it. So you probably need a little bit more processing power to be able to handle what's needed to do that. And hopefully the new systems coming out have that all baked in. So that's all I got. And Joe.
I'm Joe.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Joe.
I'm Kevin.
A little bit of something, something.
What else you got for me?
That's all I got, dude.
All right, bud. Well, we can wrap it up, and thank you all for listening to another edition of the Backlog Exposed. I'm Kevin.
I'm Joe. I'm Joe.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Joe. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
People are going to be sick of that. They're going to be sick of me because I'm going to keep doing it. I do it. It's funny. I sit here at the desk, and I'm just like working or whatever, and I get annoyed with something, and I just hit just like
a little bit of something, something. And
it just brings me right back. Just brings me right back into the zone. Anyways, what we're going to, the other thing we'll wrap up with is we're going to try to be doing at least one episode a week, Joe and I, and we're going to be getting a second one in when we can. We're both super busy. So you'll probably see, Wednesday or a Thursday episode. They'll be short and sweet, to the point. Joe may or may not be there. I may or may not be there, but we're going to be doing what we got to do. And we'll pick up the pace as, especially Joe going through all this house and moving, and I'm going to be moving in a couple months too. So we're doing what we can, trying to get as many podcasts out as we can, but we're going to get at least one a week, hopefully two. And Joe and I appreciate you listening. Please like, please subscribe, please share, do all those fun things that we need you to do for the podcast. And I think that's all I got. Our website, thebacklogexposed.com, anchor.fm/thebacklogexposed, and all that fun stuff. Oh,
Twitter at the pod, or what is it called again?
At the Backlog Pod.
At the Backlog Pod. Yeah, it's weird. That's it though. Hit us up.
That's it. And you'll notice, I'll put a little thing at the beginning of this. I'll just do a 10-second recording afterwards. But we don't have a winner for the podcast we don't have a winner for our what the hell is it called? The free game giveaway.
VR game. Yeah.
People either didn't follow the rules or didn't even, part of the thing is to follow us, right? So if you're going to share,
we had a few people retweet and stuff like that, but they didn't follow. So that's,
you got to follow
all the rules. So follow us, retweet it, and you'll get a free game.
Yeah. But what we're going to do is we're going to give it away to somebody we know is going to use it because the fans didn't want it. So, Jason, if you're listening, you won, buddy. Okay, so we're gonna get you the free game, and we appreciate all you listeners out there who are trying. But listen out for next time because we're gonna have more giveaways. We're gonna be doing that kind of stuff. All right.
That's right.
All righty, man. Well, hey, another good one in the books. Have a good one.
All right, guys. I'm Joe.
I'm Kevin.
And we are
The Backlog Exposed.